Ladies and gentlemen, friends and neighbors, boys and girls, and all those out to sea, it's me, Scott Hammond, with the 100% Humboldt podcast. I had to think about what I was doing for a minute.
What are you doing?
With my new best friend, old best friend. I'm not calling you old. Bill Barnum. Hi, Bill.
Hello again.
How's it going?
Going well.
Great to have you back.
Good to be back.
Tell us, what's your job? Just review us. What's your pedigree, your history in Humboldt County, California?
Oh, my gosh.
Who are you? What do you want?
Yeah, what do I want? Well, it's interesting when you interview people. I watch your interviews. It's when you do your autobiography in a minute or less, we all tend to talk about our work.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. So sort of fun. It might cue you into some questions because I noticed you're really good at riffing with your guests. So
I'll try to keep up.
This is fun. So you ask, so you deserve this. My first job was at Payless Drugs.
Oh, yeah.
On the old mall. I was a stock boy.
That's right.
I got fired.
I think you've told me this maybe off camera before, but
Yeah.
Great story.
Cute story.
He let you go.
17 years old. We got up near Christmas and 4 of the floor managers quit.
Huh.
Assistant manager called a Saturday meeting. He goes, I need volunteers. I need a floor manager. Actually, I need 4. I'm 17. I raised my hand. We had a training session, and he took advantage of my exuberance, so he had me open and close the store Saturday and Sunday through Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah. Got through to January, and I sat down. His name was Sheldon. I said, Sheldon, how am I doing? He goes, you're doing great. You saved me. Good for you. I said, well, I wanted to ask, since I'm doing the job and you're satisfied, could I have a step up in pay? I'm still getting $1.65 an hour, and the bottom step for this position is $2.05. So I'd like to get the $2.05.
What do you think, Sheldon? Come on, man.
And he looked at me and he got really quiet. And he says, how old are you? As though now it's relevant.
Right.
I'm 17. He goes, oh, when's your birthday? I said, June. He goes, oh, well, we'll talk about it in June.
Nice.
So I just kind of cocked my head like a Labrador retriever and said, well, I wouldn't have asked if you were unhappy with me, but since you said I'm doing a good job, I thought I should at least qualify for the bottom step.
Sure.
And he steel-eyed me and he goes, we'll talk about it in June. So I stood my ground and said, I just think it's fair.
Yeah, what do you say?
He says,
He goes,
clean out your effing locker.
get the hell out of here.
Get out of here. So I rode my 10-speed bike home and walked to the house, and my dad looks up and goes, well, you're home early. I said, yeah, I got fired. Told him the story. He goes, good for you, son.
That's my boy.
Stick up for yourself. And he said, you're a high school senior. You don't need a job from now till June. Just relax and have fun. So that's
Nice.
what I did.
Good dad story.
Yeah. So then I did get a job. After graduating, I got a job selling cars for Harvey Harper.
Yep.
And I did that for 2 years, going to Humboldt.
He's legend here.
Wonderful. And his son, Danny, and I, we opened the Mid-City Mazda store on Broadway.
Is that right? Okay.
Moved it out.
Yeah.
Then I went to work for Paul Nicholas.
Yeah. Remember him? Right down the street.
Another great mentor. Worked for him at Northwestern Mutual Life. Then I went to law school.
Say hi to Paul. Hi, Paul.
And then I came back from law school, worked for a guy named Francis Matthews for a few years.
Sure.
And then we went out, Dave Dunn and I went out, formed Dunn and Barnum in 82.
Mm-hmm.
We hired a young lawyer in 83 named Rob Arkley and made him a partner in 85. 87, I went solo and stayed solo until I completed my career in 2019.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there you go.
Good story.
That's all I got.
All those. Thanks for coming today.
Yeah, we're up already? Golly.
That hour goes quick.
It does.
I tell people, they said, it's the fastest hour of my week. It's draining because I have to focus and I have to riff and be brilliant if I can be.
Like you don't have to do that in sales, right?
No, I just show up and stand around.
Sign here.
Harvey Harper opened one of the first Ford dealerships in the not in the nation, the West Coast.
1912. His
West
grandfather,
Coast, right?
His grandfather, yeah.
Yeah.
Drove from Phoenix, Arizona to Eureka.
How about that?
Started Ford dealership.
Wow. And we have a couple of firsts too. I think Channel 3, KIM, and the gentleman who won the Peabody, who Ron Pileggi's friend,
Bill Smullen.
Mr. Smullen.
Yeah.
He was an award-winning broadcaster early on, and
real pioneer. He was in radio and then
K-Red Radio, right?
Yeah.
And KINS.
KIM was actually a radio before it converted call sign to TV.
How about that? And I know that he started real early. And then the Vance Hotel was early because it had its first sewage or plumbing or hot water or electricity. It had it first down in Old Town.
I think probably electricity.
Might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of first hearing in the county.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, good story. So, so you're retired. How do you like retirement?
Well, I haven't really experienced it yet. My dad passed away a few years ago, and so now I'm working in Barnum Timber Company, and that's been a time of change.
Mm-hmm.
We chatted about it off camera.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get into that.
Let's talk about redwood lumber.
There you go.
Is the market's dropped out?
It's essentially gone. There's no significant volume of redwood logs being sold in the marketplace right now. Big changes in the last decade or so. When you and I were youngsters, a product known as Clear Heart Redwood was a high value, high demand product.
Beautiful wood,
beautiful
right?
Products. And so the old growth was logged out pretty much by the 1990s, and what we're logging now principally in the county is second growth.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have quite the quality characteristics of the old growth.
Mm-hmm.
And so the industry sort of morphed. A significant volume, of redwood was converted into redwood fence boards,
Mm-hmm.
roughly 3/4 of an inch by 5.5, sold as 1x6 redwood. And those are sold mainly by Home Depot and Lowe's.
Mm-hmm.
But those are being cut out of logs from redwood trees that are being thinned from forests. Redwood's a unique species in that if you start with an old growth redwood, and let's say it's 4 feet in diameter,
mm-hmm.
redwood has a quality unlike Douglas fir that when you harvest that first growth tree, it's sempervirens, it's always living. And so it throws up shoots and grows a whole new generation of trees.
Sure.
Sometimes 2 or 3, as many as 14 or 15. And to maximize the yield from that forestry, the industry goes in and thins those forests and takes out the inferior or smaller. Sometimes the opposite. They'll go in and take the better trees and leave the smaller. In any event, you end up with a volume of redwood logs that, for instance, might be, say, 14 inches in diameter at the butt, at the cut end.
Mm-hmm.
And you might have 3 inches of whitewood on either side and 8 inches of redwood in the middle. But the tree's not mature, so the redwood hasn't deepened into a deep red. Instead of sort of a strawberry colored.
Yeah.
And the white on either side is the sap, which has not yet been infused with color. They'll make fence boards out of that, and the fence board will have some whitewood and some strawberry redwood. And that goes to market in huge volumes. So what's happened across the country is that redwood has lost its mystique as being a high value product. Used to be a lot of redwood deck boards sold.
Yeah.
Now competing with things like Trex and other plastic fake woods. So anyway, there is some demand for redwood, but the industry's sort of in change, or there have been some reduction in lumber production as demand has dropped. And so as recently as 2024, we had record high log prices for redwood, and now it's virtually not merchantable.
Wow.
That may change, in 2 or 3 years, but the industry, all of the lumber industry has a history of sort of feast and famine, depending upon nationwide demand. Demand is down now.
We saw that in COVID, right? Plywood for $100 a sheet.
Yep. So, big spike in prices. There's an awful lot of remodeling going on during COVID. Folks had time on their hands, and demand went way up.
Yeah, we built a second home for our special needs son, Gabe.
Yeah.
A little ADU in the back, and seemed like a good use of time.
Yeah. So anyway, as always, there's up and down markets.
Yep. It seems like feast or famine for us, whether it's cannabis or
Yeah.
internet or crypto or Redwood. Crypto, I don't know if that counts.
I don't think that Scott and Bill are playing in the crypto game.
No, I don't. No. I vaguely know what it is.
I can spell it. That's about it.
That's about it. So let's go back to your pedigree in terms of who you are, where you went to school. So you're a local guy. You went to St. Bernard's?
No, I went to Eureka High and went to Humboldt State University. When I started, there was California State University at Humboldt, later Humboldt State University.
Yep, CSU.
Now it's Poly, but back then HSU.
And HSU and now Cal Poly, CP. He has a CPH, yeah. Prior guest, Dr. Richard Carvajal, president of Cal Poly.
Yeah, I want to meet him.
Yeah, you will. He's a great guy. Hi, Richard. What a great, nice man. He's able to explain all of that morphing into a Cal Poly, and we'll probably talk about that for a second.
Sure.
What do you think of that? That's a really cool thing. It's a next level designation.
Oh, I think it is.
Can only help the county,
but now it has to live up to that title.
Yeah,
and so we have to graduate superior quality students and get them out in the working world and build a reputation on their shoulders.
And as he was talking, he's very adamant about wanting to retain people into the county, these grads, and create an economy and jobs and industry, et cetera. And I thought back to my talk with this guy, Bill Barnum, of episode 57, 100 episodes ago, about housing and, housing and healthcare and all the things that are going to need to support all that. I go, I don't know about all the math. I guess we'll wait and see. But he's got a big, grand vision that I think I'm believing that he's got a team that's going to put together and do it.
Well, I hope so.
It'll take time.
Yeah. It's difficult for the university to attract the faculty that they're going to need because the housing here is so scarce. I had a chat with John Ford, the county planning director. John has his thumb on the pulse. He knows what's going on. He told me last week that the biggest demand for his agency's services is remodel permits. So he's finding that people are moving up from Bay Area, LA, and other places with equity and finding a scarce supply of suitable housing. So they're buying up what you and I would consider the middle-class housing, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 houses, but they're sitting on $1 million or $2 million of equity.
Yeah.
So they buy those houses and then remodel them.
And just do a rebuild.
They just can't find market rate housing at that $8-9 million value. They have the money for it. There's just no resource here for them.
Yeah, which is really hard. I look at these monstrosities downtown. Right behind McCray-Nissan and down over by City Hall in Myrtle. Yeah. We just drove by that.
Me too.
And I go, cool. And it was state money, and that's okay. But where are we going to? Not everybody owns a car anymore, so we'll give that honor. But I already don't have parking anyway downtown. Right. And these guys are a half block away. And I'm going, these poor guys from McCray-Nissan, where are they going to park?
Yeah.
There's no lot that, they're not building other lots. And
the city's going to take over that lot behind the brewery and put a transportation hub in there.
Correct.
If I remember correctly, and I may not, I think they have something like 40 apartments planned on that half block. And they're going to be able to pull the buses off the street and have sort of a bus station there.
Right.
Again, that's it's interesting. The city conducted a bunch of its parking studies at a time when there was very little parking happening.
Now, there's an interesting factoid, very subtle.
Well, you work downtown. I did for years in my law practice, and now if I drive downtown, it's not unusual that I'm parking a couple blocks away. And big city people laugh at that and say, "Well, gosh, you're lucky to get it.
You're lucky.
You're lucky. That's fine." But the character of Eureka is not truly urban. It's sort of a pseudo-urban because we really only got about, 5 blocks, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. And from A to, what would it even be? A to L.
L.
It's just not very big.
Yeah.
So anyway, the parking lots, we talked about this, I think, the first time around. The parking lots were organized in the late 1950s, and old 18th century buildings torn down. The lots were often, or the buildings were often on wooden frames up out of gullies. Gullies were filled, parking lots provided, and it was good for the retail merchants, 5th, 4th, 3rd. They used to have an organization called North of 4th that was a retail sponsoring organization. And you had to have the parking. We'll see how this plays out. One criticism I have of it is I think all of this high-rise on the parking lots, if you think about this, it's a Band-Aid in terms of a decade or more of time. There's only so many parking lots that could be converted.
Sure.
And it may help the city meet its regional housing needs allocation for low-income housing, but that's usually over, I think, a 5-year period. And so every 5 years, the state's going to come back and say, City of Eureka, you need to have
some
more zoning,
more and more
capacity.
Yeah.
And there's obviously a finite supply of empty parking lots that are owned or operated by the city.
And they were talking waterfront, too, behind Dick Taylor Chocolates, right?
Yeah, of course.
Speaking of Dick Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh, did you know there's a chocolate bar perhaps in your future?
Well, lead us not into temptation.
No, but deliver us, from peanut butter chocolate.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
I joked with you about town before we went on. That's not going to make it all the way home.
You don't have it in your pocket yet.
I don't think Monica can see this until later, right?
She won't see this till Monday morning.
Oh, that's good. By then, it'll be gone.
Sorry, Monica. He ate it. We couldn't help.
Well, they got to tell the truth.
Yeah. So they'll revisit every 5 years and come back and say,
I think it's 5 years. It may be a longer time horizon. But the point is that
you're going to run out of parking lots.
They're going to run out of parking lots. And so it's a Band-Aid. Of those who are saying, yes, we need it, that's fine. So then you do it. So then what do you do? Where are you going to go? We're going to talk about the waterfront. The waterfront, that's a favorite unhappy topic for me. When I was 18 years old, a high school senior, I was involved in one of the advanced planning groups for the reconstruction of Old Town. And the zoning all along our waterfront was zoned as waterfront dependent, which meant that it would be for fisheries or fish processing or other things like that. Well, you can see what's happened.
Yeah.
So I graduated high school in 72, so we're 54 years later, and it's been fallow for half a century.
There's no development.
That's not good planning.
Yeah.
That's not good planning.
Something is missing here, and that's anything resembling planning.
We've had some very capable people, won't name names because they're as disappointed as I am, but people have proposed things like waterfront hotel projects, couldn't get through the zoning burden.
Amphitheater, big kind of
all the
outdoor
ideas
convention center.
That would add value and make that boardwalk really a valuable asset. And here we are. That just has not happened. It's a shame.
Let's cut to the chase real quick, if I may.
Please.
I rarely do this.
Well, I watched the show, so I've seen the chase get cut.
I'm not exaggerating. So what do you think the obstructionist mentality, how do you see it? Because to me, it just seems like there's such a, we can't do it. I won't do it. I'll stand against it. Don't confuse me with the facts kind of headspace. And I understand we're not going to bring a nuclear power plant to Humboldt Bay.
Not likely.
I get it.
Yeah.
Here's Amazon up in McKinleyville, just building a warehouse. Okay. And that's met with great violent, opposition. So the oppositionist mofo factor, how do you source that? How do you read that? And how has it played out? I think you were just kind of going there. Over 53 years, we're stagnant. And what are the results that our kids and grandkids will live in a really weird job-free Humboldt County?
I was talking to somebody about this last week. I'm going to be 72 in a week. So
happy birthday.
Yeah. 65 years ago, Humboldt was a pretty dynamic place. The peak population post-World War II was 1960, 106,000 people in the county. 106.
106.
Yeah, we're at 131 now.
Right.
So do the math. 25,000 more
That's not even a 1%
than
growth.
something in 66 years.
That was my birthday. Yeah.
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 It's very quiet growth. So what did we had? We had sawmills. At that point, we had peaked. I think there were a few hundred sawmills, of some very small ones up to the big ones, up until 1960.
And many of them around the bay.
Oh, yeah.
Incidentally,
And everywhere. Back Whitethorn and Salyer, which is,
Sure.
I guess, Trinity County. But you get the idea.
Blue Lake, Corbell.
Yeah, up every little valley had a sawmill.
Cornell.
And so people could say, well, that's extractive, and it's true. And it was overcut, and that's true. The fishery business was big. Company called Eureka Fisheries that the Thomas and Hunter families operated was at one time the largest volume fish processing company in the West Coast.
Wow.
Don't have that anymore. It was a very diverse community. I remember being at Marshall School, Zane Junior High, and Eureka High. It was quite socially diverse, a real blue-collar working community.
Mm-hmm.
The university was Humboldt State College in those days. Was probably 3,000 or 4,000 students.
Wow, really small.
Yeah.
Before that, it was the teachers' college, right?
It was the Normal College.
Normal.
1913.
And I was going to say, yeah.
1913. So the growth was very slow, but it's interesting to me that we went from 106 in 1960, we dropped, and this is an interesting decade. Halfway through the 60s, 1965, is when the two pulp mills opened.
Huh.
So they opened in a declining timber economy.
Interesting.
And they depended upon wood chips as a waste product of that industry. By get the math right, by 1970, we dropped to 93,000 people.
Wow.
That's quite a drop.
Huh.
And of course, I've grown since then. At the height of cannabis, I think we're nearing 136,000. I think we're 4,000 or 5,000 down now just since
16, 17, 18, somewhere before
since it was
legalization.
Legalized, yeah. So I think because of who we are behind the Redwood curtain, there's a cadre, a strata of people that are sort of, I would use like Humboldt hermits. They're sort of like, here we are behind the Redwood curtain.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want change. We don't want a vibrant economy. Where are the employee opportunities here today? They're in government, health, government.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of an industry.
I mean,
tourism?
I mean, we could say education, but education is a byproduct of government. So
right.
We have a very stable economy in that sense because the payrolls are good.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a wonderful art community. Art community here is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Really just
but that's an up and down, unpredictable.
Well, obviously, when the people who can afford to buy art have money to buy art, then the artists make money.
Mm-hmm.
And when the wealthier people don't have money for art, then the artists starve.
Sounds like Texas with oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, when oil prices are up there.
Yeah, everybody
buys a truck.
Yeah, or two. So, I don't know. I think there's always been NIMBYs.
Mm-hmm.
I think in any community you're going to have NIMBYs.
Mm-hmm.
But here in Humboldt, we have sort of an extra Humboldt hermit. Let's just not have change. And
yeah.
It's interesting. Some of the biggest changes in the last decades have come from out of the area. Not that I applaud this, but just to make the observation. The Bayshore Mall came in, 1987?
Mm-hmm.
And that was General Growth out of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And that entity's tanked.
Right.
Malls all over have tanked or being repurposed. The little strip mall next to the mall has
Victoria Place.
Yeah, Place, yeah. Mm-hmm. That was developed by a family, Mangano Family Properties of Visalia.
Visalia.
Yeah. So out of the area money comes in and sees things that we here don't see.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That stayed fairly full, but yeah, it's kind of oddly located.
Well,
hard to get in and out of.
Yeah. What are you going to do? You got Highway 101 on your doorstep.
Mm-hmm. And then we talk about all the future of offshore wind and
Oh, yeah.
the fish farm that's not happening, and Great Redwood Trail that'll be done in 5 decades. And
Well, the Great Redwood Trail, I mean, it's they said it'll be about 300 miles long.
Mhm.
Who's going to maintain it? Who's going to police it? Keep it safe? Can that be done?
Great questions. I haven't thought of that. Nobody's is that addressed in any of their planning?
Haven't checked.
Yeah.
Thoroughly uninterested. How does it translate into a revenue for any part of the county? I don't see it. You're not going to have Starbucks along the trail.
No.
Jitterbean would make money, but Starbucks, no. But,
hey, Rick.
I was going to say, the Roberts family.
Hey, Roberts.
Yeah. They'll make coffee anywhere. No.
Yeah, no, I think it probably has a destination effect that people will come and stay in camp and spend some money, but it ain't an industry.
Well, look at Oric. 1968, 70, 72, we're going to expand the national park. And they said, don't worry, you're going to have tourism.
Just was there.
Well, the only gas station up there is gone, and motels are gone. The biggest building is the federal building.
Yeah.
It's the national park building.
The gateway.
The gateway to the national park buildings.
Don't get me wrong. We just did Brown Creek at Prairie Creek. And
it's gorgeous. Fern Canyon, all of that.
It's amazing, but it's the most underused park in the system.
Yeah.
Versus Zion, which is number 1.
Not surprising.
Yeah. And they have a gateway city called Springdale, which is full of bougie hotels and coffee and food, and it's amazing. And
do we not know how to market? I don't know.
I don't know what it is. Crescent City doesn't seem to be the big gateway city for Redwood National Park either. So
and it's cheap by jowl.
Yeah.
And we haven't done much with that, have we?
No, we haven't. And it's sad because I think it's in the ilk of Humboldt Bay. You look at the bay, you go, wow, there's a lot of open land here that's doing nothing. And it is interesting, that Humboldt hermit concept. And it's funny because if I was a Humboldt hermit, I would tell you enviro arguments and it's cool and let's green and let's keep it that way and let's preserve it.
Let's keep it that way.
And yet, and Jody and I talk about this. Hi, Jody. If you don't have jobs, you don't have families, you don't have money, you have something really not that great. And those NIMBYs have denied that again and again and again, to have at least the possibility of some jobs. I think, are we really that hurt by using some land in McKinleyville zone for Amazon? Get a couple hundred jobs? I don't know. Is that going to really destroy the vibrancy of Humboldt County?
I just don't see it.
So I don't understand. Maybe somebody can call me and tell me about that. Anyway.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't like the style of protest.
What do you mean?
Well, at the Amazon hearing, I talked to John Ford about this. I have a lot of sympathy for people in government that have to deal with an unhappy public. People used to comport themselves. You'd walk up to the microphone and say, make no mistake, I'm opposed to this project. I don't think it's good for the community and blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
I've been heard. You'd sit down.
Yeah, have a seat. Have
another speaker. But the railing, the interruptions, screaming and foul language and whatnot, it's just disruptive. It doesn't really affect the decision process.
Right.
I'm sure Amazon encounters this most everywhere.
Or not. Maybe they're just welcome to.
I think it's everywhere. Amazon has a lot of enemies in our social communities everywhere.
They're big in Medford and Rogue Valley. Got a big giant wawarehouse. And
well, you heard the story that Amazon wanted to build a big project in Queens, but Congresswoman AOC fought it and said, "Don't come to my district." Well, that was some number of thousands of jobs lost.
Wow.
And I understand that. Amazon's not a favored neighbor for many communities. I understand it. I just think people ought to, keep their integrity and speak their opposition and sit down. It's not going to change it anyway.
Yeah. Comportment.
Well, to a location, as you point out, Steve Mosier developed that commercial subdivision decades ago. As with all things Humboldt, the absorption rate is very slow.
It has stayed very empty, considering.
So think about if you're the investor and you lay money out to put in utilities and streets and sidewalks and whatnot, and
this
you
is
sit
30,
back
40 years ago,
and you wait for a return on that investment. And that's why there's essentially no growth here. If you don't have those things available, they won't come.
Right.
So,
Right. So before we do the chocolate bar thing,
Oh,
one
yeah.
last point. I think
Sure.
just a quick review of your story from last time. So Eureka was zoned for so much growth in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and developers were unable to get projects through efficiently, affordably, and get an ROI on their buck. Could you reiterate that story real quick? There were only, 3 homes? 3 or 4. There's a handful of homes that got built, not 300.
Yes. Well, should build with this basic fact. Humboldt County has about 57,000 homes.
Okay.
The average home is older than I am.
Okay. What are you, 45?
I'll be 72 in a week. So you drive around anywhere in Humboldt and ask yourself, how old's that house?
Ah,
How old's that house?
pretty old.
You're looking at old housing. So that's all old housing. Drive around Eureka, especially West Side, and look at all the houses that are still on pier and post foundations.
Bunches.
Very rudimentary construction techniques of 100, 150 years ago.
Yes, true. Year.
Think about 1926 is just 100 years ago, and those houses were built on concrete foundations. So you're really looking at houses pre-1925.
Wow.
So Eureka really built out. We have the last large expansion of the city boundary was in the 1950s. My father and his partner, Fred Lumblade Sr., acquired 320 acres from Campton Road out to Herrick, where the golf course is. They donated the golf course and Lombard Hills and all those areas. That was the last annexation of any significant size.
Wow.
Lombard Hills started in 1965 and about 163 houses there.
Not huge.
Not huge. So it's not a Sacramento-style tract development where you build 300 homes and sell them in a year. Nothing like that in Humboldt County. Up in McKinleyville, Jim Furtado's done a wonderful job providing affordable housing. And Kurt Kramer's done a fabulous job on the apartment side. I know Kurt's trying to get the North McKay tract developed. That'll be about 320 units.
Okay.
But you notice how long this takes. When I was practicing law 33 years ago, 1993,
Wow.
I was working for Louisiana Pacific Corporation when we made that tract available.
33 years ago.
And it's not developed yet.
There's not a house up yet.
So I told you this before, and you get under my saddle with these stories, but the county, which of course adjoins the city, the county in 1995, it's 31 years ago, did the Eureka Community Area Plan.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. And they said 1,200 units would be built in the Dunn Robinson tract, 300 in the Slack Winsler tract, 200 in the Reardon tract.
For a total of?
What was that? 12, 15, 1,700 units. Okay, that's 31 years ago. How many houses are there today?
You
remember this story?
Under double figures? Oh, there's 2.
2 houses.
I thought there was 3.
2 houses.
Good Lord.
Now, if that's what planning produces, if planning says 1,700 and the market says 2, is that really planning?
You got a disconnection of some sort.
So you see, the game is the state says to the county, you need your regional housing needs allocation. You have to zone for housing. Doesn't mean the housing's ever going to get built.
Right. It's implied, but
I don't even know if it's implied. It's almost scamish, to me. We talked about this before. Right now, if you want to buy raw land and put all the improvements in it to create a merchantable building lot for a home, it's about $80,000 a lot. But you also have to get paid for the dirt. Right?
Right. The dirt's
got value.
That acre costs money.
Yeah. Now, my buddy Kurt Kramer told me 20 years ago that if you want a rule of thumb, if you're buying raw land as a developer, the cost of the lot developed should be approximately 1/4 of the finished product. So $150,000 lot, $600,000 house.
All right.
Well, the median wage earner in Humboldt County can't afford a $600,000 house.
Not even close.
Our building costs with a more stringent building codes, every new house has to be sprinkled for fire. It's a good thing, but it's $15,000 to $20,000 a door. All told, it's a little more than $300 a square foot for basic housing.
Yeah. When
Nothing
I started
fancy.
12 years ago with State Farm, we were quoting $150, $175, and now it's well over $350.
So if you were to build just a 1,000 square foot house, which would be very small 3-in-2 or 3-in-1 house, that'd be $300,000 for construction, and you got to buy a lot.
100.
Easy.
Yeah.
Remember, $80,000 to build the improvements. Are you going to get by with $20,000 for the dirt? Not going to happen.
So it becomes math.
It's just math.
Yeah.
And if you're the investor, you have to see, I can produce a product, but I have to have a buyer. At the end of the game, I need revenue. I'll invest elsewhere.
And their math is what? They would check theirs twice.
At the kitchen table. I said, does that make me money?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Or is my investment 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years?
Right.
Or Lumbar Hills, what is that? That's 61 years now.
Crazy.
What is that? That's just not even 3 lots a year.
Yeah. I'm getting a bird in my saddle right now.
See?
Yeah, I'm starting to squirm a little bit. Nick?
Yeah.
What's wrong with your chair here? Hey, when we go to Boise, Idaho, the Treasure Valley, it's people are wonderful. The drivers are worse.
Well, they're from California.
Yeah, that's the accusation. I'm not sure I buy it, but half of them are.
Or Portland.
Or Portland. That's fair. Well, they really cuss the Portlandiers in Boise politics.
Yeah.
The city of Boise, they hate those Portland guys.
Did you see the news this last 2 days ago? The people who are, I guess they're animal rights and vegan people in Oregon have obtained enough signatures for an initiative that will ban the killing of animals and fish in Oregon.
Wow.
You may not hunt. You may not fish. You can't raise cattle or sheep.
And you can't slay an animal. Huh.
None.
Those Portland guys could get away with a lot because they're
Isn't that fascinating?
3/4 of the state's running the show in one.
Yeah. But isn't that interesting?
That is an interesting set of laws.
Yeah. So you think about the guys that, go up to float the Deschutes River and fish for trout on the Deschutes.
Sun River.
Illegal. Yeah. Done.
Yeah. Catch and release.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that you could do that. You might kill them.
Yeah, you might kill them.
Yeah. Get a hook in the mouth, kill the fish.
Man, where do I live?
Isn't that something?
So Boise, real quick. Subdivisions as far as the eye can see.
Yeah.
Dude, it is.
And they absorb.
It's amazing.
You build it, they sell it.
Nampa, Caldwell, Meridian, Eagle, Boise proper. It's like, and these cats do giant, big, Micron's gone in there on the east side of Boise.
Yeah.
2,000 jobs. Wouldn't that be a thing? And I don't know that I'm advocating for that.
I don't know either.
But there is.
You don't need to worry about it. So.
Not in my lifetime.
We're still in California.
I still love Humboldt and the people but it is confusing and sad to me. So, hey, on that unsatisfactory note,
sure,
let's talk about you winning a chocolate bar.
I'd like to earn it.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ding, ding, ding. I'm
trying to get it to ring right.
But there's always a question.
Well, there is.
Yeah.
There's several.
Oh,
so
geez.
I'm going to make them next level for you, upper division. So for this, this is a brown chocolate and dark chocolate brown butter, nibs and sea salt.
Wow.
The nibs are quite good. Joni puts those in her yogurt and fruit in the morning.
Oh.
It's a 73% Uganda chocolate.
Yeah, I like that ratio. That's good.
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite ones. It's pretty good. This is the brown butter. I thought this was the peanut butter.
Are you going to embezzle that, or are you actually going to give it out?
No, I'm not. I'm going
All
to.
right.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
You might lose. You might lose the contest. Somebody's got to eat it.
Best 3 out of 5 falls?
Sure.
You and me? Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Question number 1.
Okay.
What's life-giving for you, Bill Barnum? What brings you that hit in life that gives you, encouragement, life, joie de vivre? What gives you motivation?
Eucharist.
Eucharist. Explain.
Well,
For those of us that don't know
Yeah.
what that might be.
I'm a cradle Catholic. I'm married to a beautiful, wonderful Catholic woman. We actually met in church,
Mhm.
and we believe in the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist.
Hmm.
And he invited us. I am the way and the truth and life. No one comes to the Father except through me. He who eats my flesh and drinks my blood will have eternal life.
Remember me.
Yeah. So he's the bread of life. He's invited us, and that's what we look forward to.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Good answer. Hey, part B of the question.
Yeah.
What sucks your soul dry? What depletes
That's
you?
a really good question.
Besides the stuff we're talking about earlier.
Yeah, golly, I don't really know that I ever let anything have that effect on me. I think I got a little bit of a spiritual Teflon.
Mm-hmm. Good.
So I don't think I would have an answer for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think I go there.
Yeah. As much as I know there's sadness in the world, I don't watch a lot of news, and I don't resorb it because I can't change it.
The news is really like history. And history, as Henry Ford said, history is bunk. So when you read a history book, you're reading really an op-ed.
Ah, interesting. So it's a spun history.
Well, it depends on your point of view. My brother Charles taught me a great expression that I lean on in my life. He called it OPR, other person's reality.
Ah.
Now, if you're going to tell the story of the conflict with Iran right now, if you were a Shia Muslim, you would have a slightly different opinion of the matter than Mr. Trump does.
Sure.
So if you're writing the book in Iran, you'd write one story. If you're writing it in Washington, D.C. in the Trump White House, you'd have a different opinion entirely. What is history?
Yeah.
History's a story and an opinion.
It's an op-ed.
It's bunk.
So question for you. This came up the other night.
It's interesting bunk, though.
Yeah. We'll do question number 2 is coming right up.
Yeah.
But I digress. The other night, home group, somebody said, hey, we're not a Christian nation. It wasn't developed on Christian principles. And I said, and the American experiment has failed. And I go, whoa, hold on. A little time out here, bro. And I challenged that. And you're well-read. You've been to law school. I would assume you have some level of historical perspective. Was our nation, our laws, our Constitution, were we based in not just Christian values, but men and women that added to this, that had a Christian perspective mindset?
I think,
in your opinion,
if you were to look at the individual biographies of the founding fathers, you'll find there were more deists than there were Christians.
So Jefferson and Franklin.
That crowd, they were reputedly agrarian farmers in their orientation. They knew that the wealth came out of the ground through hard work. But they had a wide variety of faiths or not faiths. They were students of history of Greece and Rome and of course, England, Britain. And they sort of, if you dig into it, it's quite interesting, the conflicts among the original colonies, and those who were favoring slavery held out as long as they could, and we saw what happened. There's more diversity in those individuals than we like to think about. So if someone says we are a Christian nation, always have been, I think that is not a very deep analysis. I think we certainly have Judeo-Christian principles that the society generally has followed, but with religious freedom, there's an awful lot of diversity out there.
Yeah.
That really is that's the model.
Yeah, and Franklin was really interesting. He's my boy, that guy.
Yeah.
Went over to the French and got him to fund a war, dude.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And, we had
venture capital.
Our early Navy over there fighting the Muslims in the Barbary Coast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So in the marine theme from the shores of Montezuma to the hills of, what is it?
Tripoli,
Libya. That's
okay.
So we were fighting over there very early in our young nation's career.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The Decemberists are a band that do a song on Ben Franklin. It's quite entertaining.
Yeah.
Hey, but we're really digressing.
We are.
Question number 2.
Yeah.
So you and Monica get to go out for the day, doing whatever you want, and then go to whatever restaurant you want. Where are you going?
Well, again, Humboldt, you can go so many places. We don't have time to list them, right? That's the beauty of it. I think when we want to go out and have a special dinner together, we'll go up to Moonstone Grill at sunset.
Yeah.
Beautiful photographs in this phone from sunset up there. We've had more and better restaurants in the past. Ironically, we had a lot of really great restaurants during the cannabis era.
Yeah.
Because there was cash everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So we have to recognize that the happy day of restaurant life is gone.
It has shifted.
Yeah. It's shifted tremendously.
I remember the old ones like Menorah Thai and what was
You're not old enough to remember Menorah Thai.
Oh, yeah. Tomaso's.
Yeah.
That was great. What was it? Fat Albert's? He was down there.
Yeah.
What's that now? That's Sea Grill.
Well, more recently, we really liked Nick Cole's Oberon Grill. That was great. And
Delicious.
Avalon. We missed Bevan or Avalon. That was fabulous.
Oh, yeah. Everybody mentions Larapin on the show and, 2 Doors Down. And
I had a problem with Larapin. That's where I learned that I have a food allergy to basil. So I sort of,
I got a bad vibe there.
What are you going to do?
Discovery.
It wasn't Dixie's problem. It was all mine.
Yeah. What a legend she is and was.
Yeah.
So you haven't really said what you would do with the day if you're given a day. I know you're retired, so you could have a day off anytime you want. But what would you do with the day and where would you go to eat? Oh, you said Moonstone.
I said, we're really pretty much homebodies, either here or out at the ranch. We like being active in the garden. Sort of small picture stuff.
It's good.
Yeah.
We call it a quiet night in where we get a salad, a remote, and then we watch our senior citizen program. And it's funny. I never thought I'd find a really great deal of satisfaction in that.
You know what's been entertaining of late, if folks haven't seen it, it's really quite sweet, is I think it's on Netflix. It's Love on the Spectrum.
Yeah.
And that's really
cool show.
That's a good husband and wife show. And we've seen some of the couples therapy also. And again, it's sort of entertaining because you see yourselves in the lives of others. And it's good. It's humbling. We should all keep in mind that we're not all that.
I love on the Spectrum.
Isn't that great?
Such a good show.
Touching. Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha. So who are you and what do you want? Question number 4. 3.
I think it's 5 or something like that.
Well, you're going to earn this chocolate bar.
Apparently.
Who are you? Not what do you do. So you said it well. I can tell you that I'm a State Farm.
Done with the do stuff.
Yeah.
I think that my mom passed away a month ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. She was 94, 10 months, and 22 days.
Wow.
She passed at home in her own bed, which is something we all aspire to.
Sure.
Not to be morose or dark about this, but maybe a bit of a sense of humor. I've been imagining that there's a giant escalator to heaven.
Wait, there's not?
And there is. And we're all on it. And I watched my mother go up into the clouds and disappear. And then I heard a clanking sound. And come tumbling down this escalator. And I reached up and grabbed it. It was a baton. She passed the baton.
Good.
So I'm next in the relay race.
You're heading up. You're going up.
I've been sort of, who am I? I'm a child of God. I'm on the escalator. I want to be who he thinks I should be and ally myself with his ambitions for me.
Love it.
Yeah. So I think those thoughts. I'd like to see a community that loved each other better than we do. A little less rancor, a little less bitterness, less class conflict. People are people wherever they are. Think about this guy Bezos. He was selling books out of a garage in Seattle. So is he really a guy we should hate because of his success, or just say, If you want to do it differently or better, go do it differently or better. But I'm opposed to rancor and darkness and all that. But I'm not going to beat anybody up over it. Just my wish, my hope, my desire is we could all just get along.
Love it.
Be more Christ-like if we could.
If you could. Yeah.
Make the effort.
I love it.
Yeah.
We can and should and do and will. And I think of all those things about identity. What's your identity and who's assigning it for you?
Exactly.
You know, your coach, your mom, your dad, your government. What?
I'm clear.
Yeah.
I'm clear.
Yeah. Good. I know you are.
Yeah.
Well, hey, congratulations. Wait.
Oh.
Bonus question. No.
Number 6. This is becoming abusive on this side of the microphone.
Usually they're 3 softballs and you're getting 7. Hey, congratulations on the Brown Butter Nibs and Sea Salt chocolate bar.
You're actually going to give it to me?
Enjoy that. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a tease for an hour.
I know. You've been staring at that. Keep your hands off of that chocolate.
It'll melt, right?
I know. You want it to room temperature. Goes good with red wine, turns out.
Well, I gave up alcohol in February. So
that's right.
I'm going the other way now.
Attaboy.
Well, I had enough.
How do you feel?
You know, it's really delightful. I don't miss it at all.
Attaboy.
And there must be other people like me because I go to the bar and get either a mocktail or a fake beer, and they're happy to serve me. So
yeah, no, non-alcoholic's huge. It's everywhere.
It really is popular now.
Yeah, and
I'm not going non-chocolate.
Yeah, you don't get carried away now.
I'm picking my poison.
I like it. So, what do you love and about Humboldt? If you just bring it into that simple question, what do you love the most?
Look at your map. You know, you got your Metzger's map.
Oh, my Metzger's. Let's look at that. Over here with Nick. Here we go. So this is Eureka. This is Cutting, where we talked about out here.
So,
Oregon.
My work, I was a real estate lawyer. I was a dirt lawyer. And so look at that map and compare it to, say, the grasslands of Kansas. Look at the diversity here.
Oh.
We've got ocean. We've got bay.
Rivers.
We've got 6 main rivers. We've got creeks everywhere. We're alive with fish, alive with deer, mountain lions.
Yep. Redwood.
And so we've carved out these little highways so we can get access to all these beautiful places, get up on a ridge top, watch a sunset. It just sears into your mind. When I was young, we used to go snow skiing at Horse Mountain.
Oh, let me show you where that is.
Yeah.
I know you know already.
East.
Oh, this is so it's right here.
Yeah, east and up the hill. A little
this
southeast.
is the twist back here, yeah.
A little southeast.
So this is it right
here. A
little
more east, south.
Okay.
Right there. That's Horse Mountain.
No, that's Horse. Okay, so this is Redwood Valley right here.
Yeah. Point is, you could go skiing there and you could have dinner on the beach at Moonstone.
Same night.
Same day.
Wow.
Get up, go skiing. 3 or 4 in the afternoon, get in the car, go down to the beach, bonfire.
Wow.
Hot dogs, burgers.
Go for a swim.
Yeah, you could.
You could.
You could. I didn't, but you could. So it's that. Humboldt County is just amazingly, and the redwoods, river gorges, what's not to talk about?
Ferd Canyon.
Unbelievable. So this is 3,600 square miles. Half the size of New Jersey. They have 8 million people. We have 131,000.
Oh, wow.
I know where I'd rather be.
Do the math on that.
Yeah.
Not quite as human either.
What?
In the summer.
Well, not 85 and 85.
And it doesn't snow like it does there.
That's true.
Frozen.
Yeah. That does in the mountains.
Yeah. A little bit in the summer. And it's summer and then
That's
winter.
What I love about Humboldt. Humboldt's just everything.
Yeah. You talk about biodiverse, doesn't even say it.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, hey, your show now. What are you proud of in your life?
I don't think about that. That's an interesting question. What am I proud of? Scott, I just don't think about myself pridefully. I'm sure I have pride, but
I don't think proud of something that necessarily connotates a prideful attitude.
Yeah.
Maybe we misuse the language a little.
Maybe so. Maybe I would choose a different word. Self-satisfied.
Okay. Yeah.
Love my family. Generationally, a lot of interesting people. Some are really interesting.
Like all families.
Some really interesting.
Not your family, but
so yeah. I think that's it. We derive so much of our identity from those we love and who love us. So
yeah,
I'm self-satisfied that it's a good tribe.
Mm-hmm.
They're all human. They're all foiled like me.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's stuff to talk about.
Yeah. We're all in the journey, as my daughter-in-law so well put it.
And we need strength for that journey.
Yeah, we do.
We do. Can't do it alone.
Amen to that. It's done in community, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, with the tribe. Which is often the difficult part, because here I go depending on you again.
Yep.
And you got to depend on me. And here we go. What if we... Anyway, and then we go round and round, and therein lies the beauty and the command to be to love one another.
I try to orient myself to being productive of something good. So when I think my private thoughts, I think about, well, what can I be doing that could be good?
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah.
So at the end of your life, as you ascend,
should I calendar this or
the escalator?
Yeah. Boop, 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 boop,
What would you prefer, desire? What are your druthers around? How would you like to be remembered?
I joked with you last time you asked me that question. I said,
maybe that's a different answer today.
Remember the punchline?
No, go for it.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. I'll be forgotten within weeks.
Well, there's so much true to that. I told you, and I think these thoughts. My great-great-grandfather was Dr. Reuben Gross, and he built the brick building at 5th and F.
5th and F. Is it
Arthur Johnson's building?
It's still there.
Building. Yeah, it's still there.
I just walked by it today.
He built that in 1903. Same year, he built his home at 8th and H. It's now the Hysterical Society.
Beautiful home.
Yeah, beautiful Queen Anne Victoria.
Oh, my gosh.
That was Dr. Gross.
Mm-hmm.
His wife was Mary Mean, so I had mean and gross relatives.
Mean. Good one.
And it's been, he's my great-great-grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
Who thinks of my great-great-grandfather anymore?
Nobody. Handful.
I do.
Yeah.
But you asked
maybe that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the baton falls.
Mm-hmm.
We grab it.
Mm-hmm.
We ride the escalator, and you look down and say, who am I going to throw this at?
Maybe just throw it back down.
Yeah. Clank, clank.
Who grabs it?
Yeah. Who's going to grab it?
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, so I don't really have grandiosity thoughts of what's my legacy. My legacy hopefully will be people who love and remember me while I'm loving and remembering them.
Good word. I like it. And what about a tombstone inscription? Anything clever?
Nah. Here lies?
Yeah. Here lie. I like my bosses. Doggone it, do better.
Yeah.
He will cuss, and then he says, just do better. And I'm going, in the spirit that's given in, I hear that and like that. I think about mentoring. I think about how was I mentored and how can I mentor, even if it's momentary mentorship.
Sheldon was not a mentor.
Not a good mentor. No. May you be a good mentor to all those that you are in your life. And I think, you don't have to look that far.
My sister got my mother a little wooden plaque. We all get the little wooden plaques. This one's cute.
Mm-hmm.
It says, my name is Mom, but my real name is Mom, 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 Mom. That's so cute.
I like that.
A lot of moms like it.
A lot of moms.
Wouldn't put it on an epitaph, but you get the idea.
It fits.
It's cute.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being here.
Thanks for inviting.
Yeah, no. What a joy. It's always fun.
Every 100 or so shows, I'll show up.
Okay, yeah. Come on by. Could you drop on in?
That's just out on the street. You just come on in. Yeah.
Hey, Bill, what are you doing? Well, folks, if that concludes number 120 episodes, by the way.
Not bad.
Congrats. And thanks for being here. If you want to like us, love us, make comments, send money, we're on all the podcast platforms.
Money?
Yeah.
Oh, for you.
Well, for me.
Yeah.
They could send you some money, I guess. You wanted? I was going to ask for your website or your phone number or anything. You don't need that.
Offline.
Maybe somebody would meet you someday on the street and go, "Hey, I saw your show."
Oh, they do.
Yeah. How'd it go? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so reviews, like us, love us. We're on YouTube. We're on Access Humboldt TV. Bold Day of Giving tomorrow. Hey, and vote for us for Best of Humboldt, North Coast Journal, Best Podcast. That'd be awesome if you have a mind to do so. In the meantime, we'll see you next week. Thanks for coming. And Scott Hammond, 100% Humboldt. And I was going to say like a good neighbor, but that's copywritten.
Is it?
It is. Thanks.
Steal it.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks. Bye-bye.